We are with part 3 of 3, Lasso from the future. So we're going to talk about what it means to allow the natural magnetism of your future self to help guide you towards that pathway. To be clear though, I believe that we actually have a myriad of future possibilities that are all dictated by the decisions we make, by the beliefs that foster those decisions. And so when I work with clients around connecting with my future self, there's a lot of clarity needed in who this future self is. One of the ways that I like to skim away possibilities or refine the trajectory of who our future self is we're talking to is dropping into, if we all have a core blueprint, a soul blueprint, a pattern that is deeply embedded in our choice to be here on this planet and the commitment and devotion we have to kind of wrestling with this devotional life path in this life, that blueprint will be able to make decisions that are in alignment with that blueprint, in alignment with what we truly feel like our soul is designed to bring to this planet and also to receive from this experience of life. And so when I talk about the future self, I'm talking about a future self that has made the most aligned actions in coherence with that blueprint. Does that make sense? So free will is real, y'all. If you've ever done palm reading, my favorite way of describing it is, this hand is the path that you're given, so you can follow. This is like the blueprint. And then my friend's like, and this hand's all the ways you fucked it up. This hand's the one that's like all the ways that free will got in, and that part of us that's like, I want to try this and I want to try this, and which is fine. And there's a certain point where, almost like that question I have now, because I feel like I've maybe made a lot of like rebel free will decisions in my life, is, okay, how do we actually get back on track? And so maybe that's the question that you could have for your future self is, how far out of alignment with this cohesion of my path am I? How far has the current of time in my life taken me this way or that way, or the tributaries that have been created by the big blocks that I've laid in the current of life, the big shifts of direction that I've made. And so when we're talking about a lasso from the future, we're talking about this energy of, instead of reaching out to the future, instead of like stretching and trying to touch something and taste something that you don't have the bandwidth, the neurological bandwidth, the physiological bandwidth, because you're here and you're looking through the lens of your present day self. So to receive information from the future self, you have to also be able to realize that you might not be able to comprehend it with your mind as it is right now. That the guidance that might come might not be in a language might not even be accessible to who you are now, because who you become has created a whole new language of understanding of what it means to be alive in your life, or even the possibilities that you're capable of. So this is inspired by a really powerful experience I had with my second child, Osha. And right when she was like about to be born, it was like the ring of fire. And all of a sudden I felt all these guides and guardians with me, these beings with me. And they said, it was under the guise of, now you don't have to do anything now. Her fate, her future is pulling her towards it. So let that sink in. Your future, your fate is pulling you towards it. And so if we can connect in with that frequency of this future trajectory of yourself from where you are now, the future self that has made the most aligned, realigned actions, continuously choosing to be directed and redirected and pivoted into this path. If you think of water, we're going to talk about water this whole series. This is also a little like sneak peek into the Onward series I'm doing on April 16th. Check it out in my bio. Early bird ends on April 3rd. But the idea is that when working with water, depending on where you're at in a river current, is going to affect your experience. You're either going to be smashing against the rocks, having to like push yourself against off the shore. It might be so shallow on the sides that you're going to be scraping yourself up. But that moment in life when you are smack dab in the center of the current, not to say that there's not rocks and like things coming your way that you're going to need to navigate, but there's a place in the river that is fast and furious and strong and committed and has a sense of surety. That when you lie in that stream, when you align yourself in that stream, then that is going to make it so much more graceful. But this journey of onward is preparing yourself, or the parts of you, or the parts of your nervous system, the parts of your psychology that are really, really scared about what it means to truly push off from the shoreline, from the safety of that bank. And so that's why this is momentum mentorship. That's why what I am and so much of my work is about is how do we create safety in the journey of momentum? How do we find a way of like trusting that we can survive and thrive within the strong current of life, within the current that is dedicated and that requires that dedication from us. So I'm going to sing you all a little song. And my invitation with this song is to just let this song be a bit of a coaxing of your own inner alignment. Okay. So blessings to you all, and that invitation is to ask for that lasso to be clear, ask for that message in the bottle to make its way to you. That message that has guidance on what is the most important quality of your life right now, the important relationships that you should be tending, the important choices that should be reassessed or fortified in your life right now. So I invite you to ask for that clarity. And you might need to be a bit stingy too. You might need to really, really choose a few clear paths. And if you're feeling scattered, if you're feeling the threads of your attention are pulled in too many directions, think of it like that river, that stream is going to not have the full force needed to get to where you're going with like the full bodiness, the full expression of your energy, if that makes sense. I might. All right, thank you all so much. And if you haven't seen the previous two, go back. You can go, if you're watching this on my newsletter, you can connect with, I think the YouTube video is going to take you back to the other two. And if you're on Instagram or Facebook, you can just go back to my page and check out the other two. And if you're on my newsletter, there'll be extra homework involved. So if you're not on my newsletter, you can go to sarahburns.com/links and subscribe to my newsletter, and you'll get the homework. I'll be sending that out on Friday. All right.